So, this past week, select gamers got access to play a beta test, or I guess you can call it a preview, for a game called Marvel Rivals. Some of you know, some of you may not be familiar. So, Marvel Rivals, for those of you who aren't very familiar, is a game. How do I say this? It is very, 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 very reminiscent of Overwatch. So reminiscent, you might ask, what's the point of even playing this? And while I thought when I went into some of these comment sections and talked with the community, while I thought everybody would have the same sentiment, there were a pretty significant amount of people who really like the game, still like it. And after discussing why people would leave Overwatch to play this or Marvel Rivals, it kind of all boils down to fanfare. So, unless you've been under a rock, you see the timing for this game, for this beta, was very appropriate. Recently, Wolverine and Deadpool was released to theaters, and later on this past week, it was revealed that Robert Downey Jr. is making his return to the Marvel Cinematic Universe as Doom. For those of you who don't understand how that would be possible because he was Iron Man, well, it's because the Marvel Universe has different universes and they have different variants of the same person, and sometimes different people don the title and mask and whatever identity of certain characters. So in some universe somewhere, apparently, I guess, Robert Downey Jr. is Doom, or maybe Tony Stark is Doom. I don't know. So, but anyway, it's very appropriate all of that would happen around the time that Marvel Rivals was given, select players were given access. A lot of big content creators, especially, were given access to the game. So, like I was saying, after a while, trying to figure out why would you play this instead of Overwatch, it comes down to fanfare. So I kind of, rolled it over in my mind a little bit, and I was like, I might want to play. I'm a fan of Penny Parker, and that Spider-Man multiplayer was canceled. It might have been possible they would have added Penny Parker at some point, but that was canceled. So if I wanted to play Penny Parker bad enough, that would be a good access to that, right? And I'm still on the fence, but while having these conversations, I said, you know what? You couldn't stop me from playing this game, though, if Adam Brashear, some of you may have heard of him, or you may have heard of his alias, the Blue Marvel, was introduced into the game. So if you don't know who Blue Marvel is, he's a little obscure, I guess you could say. I thought he was more known than I found out. He wasn't as known as I thought he was in some of these comment sections, forums. A very cool character. And I was like, if they added Adam Brashear, I'd jump in and play Marvel Rivals. So how does that apply to Concord? Now, Concord doesn't give a lot of fanfare, but there is a solution for that. I think the solution could be the fact that PlayStation seems to be pretty on board with this game, and it's a really good excuse to have downloadable characters from the PlayStation universe, right? Really, I think there's two things Concord can learn from from Marvel Rivals. One is this fanfare, and the other is free to play model. But you can do both in one shot. You can pretty much there could be outrage if you do that, but you can kind of say, listen, for free, you get 16 players, right? 16 characters. But unlike the people who pay 40, people who pay 60, who gets probably more, you have to pay for each character. And how you get people on board with that is, of course, you announce your own original characters, but eventually you can announce characters from the PlayStation universe. Your Kratos. Now, we're not going to give Kratos an assault rifle. Understand this, right? He's a melee character, right? Now, this is a fantasy universe. God of War basically takes place on a planet. You can say the free gunners went to that planet. Got to that universe eventually where Kratos was. Picked Kratos up, right? Whatever the story is, you have Kratos. Then you have, because it's very easy to call this game, or a Marvel adjacent game, Concord being, and say there's a multiverse in here, right? You pick up your Sack Boys, you pick up your I don't want to go too far back, Jack and Daxter, whatever, Joel, Nathan Drake, Spider-Man, if that's possible. That's probably a hard one to get with Marvel Rivals being out. But you get the point. This game really needs fanfare. You need, at some point, I would say very soon, hopefully, to say, listen, this is the season 2 of Concord. We're going to have Kratos. We're going to have Nathan Drake. We're going to have Bloodborne character. A whole bunch of characters you can add to the game to bring in some fanfare. That's what this game really needs. Because obviously, fanfare is a powerful, I guess, effective, not just selling tool, but as far as gameplay, it adds so much. Now, like I said before, we're not giving Kratos an assault rifle. He is a melee character, right? Sackboy can have a gun, a little whatever gun. He has a whole bunch of stuff in that game. Astrobot can have a character, whatever. So that's my suggestion. I think one thing this game is really missing is a lot of fanfare, and you have, outside of Nintendo, you have the gaming arsenal as far as characters that pretty much surpasses every other first party out there. As far as character endearment. So yeah, that's my suggestion. At some point, add some characters. Killzone, Resistance, Jack and Daxter's, Twisted Metal, Sweet Tooth, etc., etc. I think it's brilliant. Whether does Sony listen to their fans? Probably not. But I think it's time to really get on board with that, Sony. All right, take the suggestion. All right, everybody have a good day. Hope you like the video. Like and subscribe, and good gaming.